Be real.
Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Yeah, let's just be honest.
Let's just be.
Coverage here of the snooker on Eurosport and Quest. So Philip Studd is in the commentary box, and for the first time ever for Eurosport and Quest, the 2006 world champion Graham Dodd, and Graham will be doing the first two frames. I say that because it was pre-agreed. In case anyone watching thinks we've hooked him after a couple. Take it away, Graham and Phil.
Well, we've already had some drama here with the yellow and the green on the wrong spots, but Shaun Murphy, eagle-eyed that he is, immediately spotted that, and the correction has been made, so we're nearly ready to go. And Murphy, as the guys have been saying, must be on a high, cued quite beautifully against O'Sullivan. A deserved winner, I felt, in that final, which, yes, could have gone the distance in the end, but I think, as Ronnie admitted afterwards, Murphy had been the stronger player. And to beat O'Sullivan over the best of 19 frames takes some doing at the best of times, so it must be, Graham, a big confidence boost for him, because he hadn't had a good record against O'Sullivan, particularly in the longer frame matches in the past.
Yeah, I think he's bound to be high in confidence just now. Winning the tournament, you'll get plenty of confidence, but to beat Ronnie in a long match as well, and he's also had a week off as well, so he should be flying and being ready here just now.
First meeting between this pair, Chen Zifan, 25 years of age, only turned pro this season via the Q School. So a big occasion for him to test his skills against one of the very best.
Well,
So a first opportunity for the underdog today. Chance to settle those pre-match nerves.
8. No.
I think it's the ideal chance as well here for him to settle down. Should be an easy kind of 40 points here without him having to do too much.
16. $17.
What are your memories of your first year as a professional? Can you remember that far back, Graham?
Yeah, I can. I actually can remember beating Neil Folds in the studio to qualify for...
no, I shouldn't have raised that, should I?
I know. To qualify for Dubai. 25. But I think if I remember right, that was my 10th match to qualify that year. So things have changed from now. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Neil was good back then.
has the strength and depth of the game changed in your eyes since you first turned pro, in terms of the number of players now capable of springing a surprise, as Chen is trying to do today?
Yeah, I think the top players, I think the top four, I think the kind of golden generation when it was Hendry, Sullivan, Williams and John Higgins are better than the four kind of just now. But the strength and depth is phenomenal now. And you don't maybe, this probably isn't one of the better, kind of better well-known Chinese players, but we still could easily beat Shaun 4-0 here. They're all that good.
Yes, and I guess that danger for the
40.
leading lights is magnified by the shorter matches, best of sevens, of course, here in the early rounds. Not much time to find your feet if you make a sticky
40.
start. But this is an impressive start from Chen. Looks composed.
All blacks as well. Can't hit a max in the first frame, surely.
Well, that would be
48.
pretty astonishing. The rolling prize is make it £10,000 now for a maximum this week. There wasn't one at the Shanghai Masters. Ronnie O'Sullivan made the top break there, a 144.
49. $56.
Hampered, but doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball.
$57.
I believe you have Zhou Yulong in the first round, Graham, another very talented player from China.
Yeah, he's more one of the well-known ones, and it'll be a really tough match. It's a hard draw, first round. This is good from Jen, but first frame. So underhit this a little bit. He does have a red in the middle as well if he wanted to stay in the black, but
64.
I think he's doing the right thing and just going up for blue or bulk colour.
$65.
Well, there you see it. 75 remaining, so one more red. I'm sure Murphy's going to need a snooker.
$70.
No space for the blue on its own spot, so onto the pink spot it goes. Highest available.
$71.
So as things stand, Murphy needs a snooker in order to tie, assuming he took blacks with all the remaining reds. It doesn't look as though he's going to get that opportunity. That's a handy kiss, which will surely settle this first frame. What a start from the rookie.
76.
Very solid fella.
Had a quick chat with Shaun
77.
last night when I arrived at the hotel, and he said he was very mindful of the dangers posed by this young man. I haven't played before, but he's seen him play, and he was impressed. He'll be even more
82.
impressed now, watching up close.
83.
I think that's the big difference when you're saying about strength and depth. I think he just looks so at home here. Really solid, everything's in the middle of the pocket.
The world number 98, which rather backs up the point about
89.
strength and depth.
$90.
Well, what a boost it would be if he could make a century in the opening frame here. Bit of work to do to make it happen.
$95. Chen Zifan.
No century, but my goodness, that was an impressive opening salvo from 25-year-old Chen Zifan. Shaun Murphy coming back to the table, not with any thoughts of winning the frame, obviously, just to get a feel, because he's had precious little so far.
Good shot again. He's shown him a lot of respect here, Shaun, by playing on. I think if he really thought he was strong favourite to win the match, he would have just conceded and got on with the frame, but he's shown him a bit of respect.
$5. Chen Zifan. 5. And the
And
free.
this time, Shaun Murphy does opt to remain in his chair. That was a mightily impressive opening from Chen Zifan. A break of 95, very composed, very calm, cool and collected. What a great start against Murphy.
Thank you. Frame 2. Shaun Murphy to break.
Well, you heard Shaun Murphy regaling his experience of 12 months ago here at the Northern Ireland Open ahead of this match. Barely got a look at a ball in his first round. Long journey, a fruitless one. The first frame was pretty fruitless for Murphy. Excellent break of 95 from Chen Zifan to get the opener on the board. First to 4 to go through. Murphy's break-off leaves half a chance for Chen from long range.
Foul. Shaun Murphy. 5.
Well, that was a long way off. Been unlucky to knock the blue in. First mistake he's made, really.
It always looks worse, that shot, but with these cloths, it's quite easy to do that when you're digging down on it.
How much faster are the conditions now from when you were first playing as a programme?
I don't think they've got that much faster. I think Shaun's at the knuckle here, yeah. I don't think they've got that much faster, but I think the past year and a half, maybe 2 years, the pockets are getting, I think, a little bit too big.
Really?
Yeah. I know everybody else is always saying that the pockets are really tight and for club tables, and they're tight for club tables, but I think they're still on the big side.
Well, he knocked the blue in inadvertently just now missing a long-range red by quite a way. He missed that one as well, but in goes the red. Moment of good fortune for Chen. He'll take it.
I think that one was definitely bad cueing more than the first long one he played. Was you could excuse him for that, but that one was bad cueing, so he's very lucky to get away with that.
Again, a couple of easy pots to start with. Another decent chance to build an advantage in the second frame.
6.
He has registered a couple of good wins already this year, including against our defending Northern Ireland Open champion Mark King and Barry Hawkins. A couple of round of 32s for Chen.
7.
European Masters and the English Open.
Thirteen. $40. 20. Thank you. 21.
I don't know if the red passes that's next to the black into the bottom right, because if he can get that red out the way, he could have another big break here.
26.
It does go. That's the one he wants to go on as soon as he can.
27.
Could play for it here.
Looks like Chen is one of the many converts to this new Finnish chalk, which seems to be cutting down bad contacts, the kicks, pretty dramatically. Have you been using it, Graham?
No, I've not used it. I'll watch everyone else using it first and decide.
It's quite expensive, apparently.
Being a miserable Scot as well, £15 a bit much for me.
Well, one thing that has been noticeable is that the table seems to be a lot cleaner with the use of this chalk, because the theory is that it stays on the tip much better than the more conventional kind.
I think that's the one thing that I do like about it, is the table's clean. I'm not 100% sure that it's going to stop kicks, but we can wait and see.
Didn't want that cannon on the red, Chen. That's scuppered prime position.
40.
I think you can still hold for blue.
$41.
Not the kiss he was looking for.
not actually seen him play, but it really wouldn't surprise me if he takes the blue on. A lot of the Chinese players just refuse to play safe once they're in. They just want to clear up, so it's not a big shock that he's taking this on.
And what tremendous cueing. Right in the heart of the pocket.
46.
Where is he ranked, did you say?
He's currently at 98, which is 3 spots below his best so far, his debut season.
47.
It shows you the strength and depth that we've got.
Well, admittedly, this break was launched by an outrageous fluke, but Shaun Murphy must be having
54.
feelings of deja vu at the moment. Here in Belfast, barely got a look in last year in his first round. He's had precious little opportunity so far here.
55.
There is the fluke. It was one of the more spectacular, you'll see. Be honest, Graham, do you ever feel guilty when you knock in a ball like that?
Definitely not. It never happens to me, but I'll be honest.
Well, that's true.
62.
And does it make it worse when the player apologises? Would you rather they didn't pretend that they were feeling guilty about it?
No, I think it's always nice when they apologise, but it certainly doesn't make you feel any better. This is Shaun's last chance. Good shot.
Yeah, never easy
66.
those, are they? There's not much margin for error.
He's cueing very well.
58 the lead, 67 on, so this black, one more red should do it.
$70. $71.
Wow, this is extraordinary stuff. 95 in the opening frame. Murphy warming his chair.
$76. $77.
It's the first time I've actually seen Chen. He's got a lovely touch.
Yes, he's a picture of calm, isn't he?
84.
Nice rhythm around the table. Looks very confident. The way he took that blue, which was very missable,
85.
having lost prime position, was evidence of how good he's feeling.
Yeah, there's lots of players that wouldn't have played the blue. As I said, it's just the way a lot of the Chinese play. Once they're in, they just want to clear up.
Well, here it is again. You won't see a better struck long pot than that this week. Never in doubt.
That's a pity.
That's a shame. After the second frame running, no century from Chen Zifan, but a superb break. Another in excess of 90, 92 this time. And Shaun Murphy has got a headache to deal with here. 2-0 down already.
Thank you. Frame 3. Chen Zifan to break.
What a start from Chen Zifan. Breaks of 95 and 92. Shaun Murphy has barely had a look in. Admittedly, the previous break started with a fluke, but you've got to take advantage of the luck when it comes your way, because you can be certain that the wheel of fortune will turn. So Murphy, 2-0 down, has had very few shots and finds himself glued to the baulk cushion. Not much wiggle room either in a best of 7, however well you're playing and however confident you're feeling.
Thank you, Shaun. Foul.
And I think he's just feathered the white there to make matters worse. He's just confessed a foul on himself there, Murphy. He's been invited by Chen Zifan to play in any case. And there we see the sportsmanship in the game, and it might have proved expensive for Murphy. Graham Dott has morphed into Neil Folds here in the commentary box. This is not the start, Neil, that the reigning champion of champions winner had in mind.
No, certainly not. And he's getting a little bit of deja vu from last year when, as I mentioned when I interviewed him, the Luca Brissell absolute hammering he got 4-0. That might have been more anticipated than Chen Zifan, who, well, we should remember that he did beat Barry Hawkins in the English Open, which was obviously a very fine result. He did it on one of the show tables as well. But of course, you just look at his age and say, well, he's not a whiz kid, he's 25. But at the moment, he's not missing anything. You can do no more than that. Well, he hasn't played that all that well. He's on a choice of reds, but his next colour is not straightforward.
6.
Clearly the black's tied up, which means he goes up for something else. It's interesting, we're speaking about best of 7. When Ken Doherty was in at the start of the day, speaking about how best of 7, no interval. You almost play the whole match in one foul swoop. Kind of makes redundant
7.
snooker coaches a little bit, doesn't it? And snooker shrinks that might help you at the mid-session interval because there isn't one. And at the moment, it suits Chen just to be continuing because he's playing ever so well. Just goes. Kind of waiting for him to miss something. It's only if you're a Murphy fan. As I say, I don't think he's phased by playing on one of the show tables. Some players rise to the occasion, others turn to jelly
30.
when they're not used to it.
Very nice cannon. Can't do anything wrong at the moment.
Now, you'd like to have caught it just a bit further to the left, but he's still on the black, like you say. This shot is a different sort of a test. Cue ball and object ball close together, you can misjudge the angle on these. And it's quite thin, isn't it? Looking at it where he's cueing from. But nothing is stopping him at the moment. He's playing very nicely.
Graham Dott mentioned what a nice touch he has, and there's an example of it. Delicate, wasn't it?
Yes, it's going against all the form this match so far. You would have thought that Murphy would have been feeling on top of the world coming here. I'm certain he is, but he's like anyone else. Sit in your chair, what can you do? Just wait and hope. He certainly looks pretty calm and cool. Not
27.
in a fluster yet. He's He's going to try and win the match, though, at some point. That might get a little bit more tense.
That's another very good shot, which was missable.
Yeah, I was watching his head. It was absolutely dead still when he hits the ball, and that's easy to say, not so easy to do all the time. It's very good. Like in all sports, you know, keep your head still, they say, which kind of doesn't mean a lot, but it helps if you
33.
very still and motionless playing your shot.
Dominic Dale among the interested spectators while he waits for his next shot against Jimmy White. 2 frames apiece, by the way, next door between the Spaceman and the Whirlwind.
Yes, actually, Chen has beaten Dominic this season. I was scurrying through his record. Some good, some bad. This would be his biggest win. Just slightly hampered by that red. He wants to put his bridge hand in a slightly different place to where he has to.
His pot success at the moment at 94. Shaun Murphy hasn't got one because he's yet to pot a ball. He's had 2 attempts.
Yes, and most of the couple of shots he has missed have been at the end of the frame when, I mean, Shaun played on in the end of frame 1. In live play, well, he's knocked everything in. This is awkward to reach, especially with the red up there. Yeah, that's the first mistake. Now, this is the fascinating passage of play. He's made a mistake. He's given Shaun his first chance. Now we're going to find out how he's feeling about it. Didn't get position either. He was overstretching. Furious with himself.
1.
Well, that is the most extraordinary mistake. I mean, look at the width of the bunch there. He's missed them all. He's nearly gone in off. How has he not gone into the bunch? For such a good player, that's a glaring error.
Shaun Murphy, 8.
Yeah, Murphy's been frozen out so far. Perhaps that goes some way to explaining the error he made just now, but it's been a real struggle for him to this point. Very close.
As Graham Dott said when he was in earlier, made a really good point, I thought, that a lot of the Chinese players don't really have any interest in playing safety shots. He went for a very awkward one there. They're very attacking in their style. I remember when Lian Wenbo became the first Chinese player to reach the quarter-final of the World Championships. It wasn't Ding, it was him, in 2008. Did so by barely playing any safety until O'Sullivan beat him.
It's a gigantic frame, this, isn't it? The difference between 3-0, which would make life very, very awkward for Murphy, and 2-1. He'd be right back in the picture. And that is another huge mistake from the recent champion of champions.
Well, I think that he must be feeling something, that maybe the cue ball's heavy or something, because first of all, he didn't go into the bunch, which he still looks to be baffled by. I think he's not at comfort with the conditions. I'm not sure what's going on, but that was a terrible mistake.
And with a 37-point lead already. At 38 now. Great chance for Chen to go 3 up with 4 to play.
Yes, and you're absolutely right. If this frame goes his way, he's a very strong favourite to cause what would be a major turn-up. One of the more fancied runners in the 128-man field would have gone out.
Not the best positionally, which makes this red tougher and more pressurised. The lead is now 49, still 75 available. And again, good cueing. Although the black is awkward. Jimmy White, I can tell you, has moved 3-2 up on Dominic Dale. Dave Hendon was mentioning earlier, he shared a flight over here to Belfast with the Whirlwind, who said he'd been very encouraged by his practice form, was just looking to try and convert it onto the match table. He's making a pretty good fist of it so far on the Eurosport player.
Well, Chen did make a mistake and he pushed a red safe, like you say. He won't be that concerned with that strong advantage. There is an argument here that he wouldn't go for the black and he'd put the blue on the cushion. But he's, again, attacking all the way. And it'll just, I think, amount to 7 more points. I don't think the red to the left middle is going to be easy. But with the colour, it would be frame ball.
20.
Maybe the red down the cushion. Either way, he's taking all the shots on. Now, he struggled on a shot with the rest like this earlier in the frame, cueing awkwardly.
Yeah, and this one's tougher, isn't it?
Well, he's looking to... He really is in a very uncomfortable position there to play this shot. The length of the bridge. Goodness.
He's wriggled it in. He's on the blue. He's released another red.
Yes. I think that was played slowly on the first day. And that's the reason that shot went in, because I think that might have stayed over the pocket as the cloths get a bit older.
Well, this is frame ball, barring snookers. Chen in dreamland here.
Yes, he's played so well. He deserves everything he's
26.
getting. But like we say, the next point is thinking about winning a match against a leading player. That's his next obstacle. As for Shaun's, well, his is just to get a feel of the match.
Murphy has scored just 13 points so far. 5 of those were fouls. At the moment, lightning is striking twice for the magician.
34.
reduced to mere spectator by Brissell 12 months ago here in Belfast, and the nightmare is reoccurring.
35. $42.
Frustration mounting for Murphy. Was desperate to make big inroads this week here in Belfast, particularly after what happened last year. Obviously in terrific form, given how well he played to beat O'Sullivan in the Champion of Champions final, but today he's had precious few opportunities to impose himself, 1 or 2 errors as well, and Chen Zifan has been mightily impressive, and he deserves the advantage he's got. It's a big one. 3 frames to 0. Shaun Murphy deep in thought, no wonder. He's got a lot to think about here. 3-0 down to the world number 98 from China, Chen Zifan, who's made a couple of 90-plus breaks and is outscoring Murphy 279 points to 13. He'd have got pretty exciting odds on that at the outset. Murphy's got to win the remaining 4 frames. Well, the one thing about a best-of-7 frame match, aside from the fact, of course, that we have no intervals, is that you're never out of it, even at 3-0 down. Plenty of times we've seen players recover from that deficit to win. It's not a regular occurrence, but it's happened on plenty of occasions. But the way Chen Zifan is playing at the moment, it's going to be very, very difficult for Murphy to make it happen today.
Foul. Shaun Murphy, 4.
Well, it could have been worse. A mistake like that, any ball could have finished anywhere. Red just goes into the bunch. Well, this is looking a worry for a second as well. He's got away with it for once.
Shaun Murphy has been responsible for 1 or 2 of the more remarkable comebacks in the past. I recall him beating Matthew Stevens at the Crucible once. 5 down with 6 to play. He beat Ali Carter in the semi-finals of the UK Championship on one occasion. 4 down with 5 to play. First, he's got to get the opportunity to get his cue arm going, because he's just not had that so far. A rare mistake from the Chinese. Now, is this the chance Murphy's been waiting for?
Touching ball.
Well, the touching balls have no interest to him. He wants to pot one of these 2 reds. He's queuing over a lot of balls, though, for the red to the right corner. And as ever, even after a mistake like that we've just seen, you know, when you're behind, everything is just a bit awkward. Even this. Couldn't avoid going into the black, but to miss the red, it's turning into a nightmare of an afternoon. The current champion of champions.
The expression says it all, really. A look of bewilderment. Perhaps a little fortunate that he hasn't left something more straightforward for Chen. Well, he hasn't taken a backward step, has he? But that was a difficult cut to the centre, and he missed it by quite a way. Another chance for Murphy.
One.
Well, just when you need a bit of luck, it's not come. And he's ploughed the cue ball through the bunch with the immense power. But finishing on the side cushion, no good. Difficult shot to keep the break going here.
7. Thank you. Eight.
That's better from Murphy. Good cueing from tight to the side cushion.
$11. $12.
This is already Shaun
70.
Murphy's highest break of the match.
$18. $23. $24.
Well, that's okay. Again, I don't think it was as he played. Playing with right hand running side here. Anywhere down the table, he's got choices.
29.
He'd prefer not to play the red over the pocket at this point. Save it until later in the break. It's a brave shot to play on the black.
30.
Well, he's looking to make sure of the black, run through to pop the red over the middle. Trying to find a gap to get onto it.
$37. 38.
Once again, found a way of getting onto the pink, which he didn't know much about.
$44. 45. $52. 53.
Well, as you said earlier, 3-0 down is not match over. And you just would not put it
60.
beyond Murphy to stage a comeback here. He's now just got to keep
61.
Chen just in his chair, thinking about winning. Make him dwell on it. But most of all, he's got to pop balls. This is a start. Murphy, he's frame over, barring snookers. Don't think he's going to get the chance
68.
to get those snookers, though. Well, saying that, he'll have to carry on now.
Murphy.
That
68.
was a sloppy one.
Yeah, 72 the lead, but still 67 there. 2 snookers as things stand.
One.
It's a cut that Murphy would have expected to get.
Eight.
Well, whatever he's thinking, he would really have liked to get it down to 1 red left before attempting the snookers. Pretty obvious that if you're in a snooker and there's 4 reds to hit, you've got a bigger target. It's really as simple as that.
Chen Zifan 8.
Well, that surely settles the argument now. Shaun Murphy has a frame belatedly. The comeback has begun. It's just a question of how much further it will continue. We're going all the way on the neighbouring table, the Whirlwind and the Spaceman. 3 apiece. They've just got that final frame decider underway. And, of course, you can follow all the action on the Eurosport Player. The Whirlwind in first.
6. $11. 12. 18. 19.
told me that it was something of a double-edged sword missing Shanghai last week. Of course, he lost in qualifying. On the one hand, he wanted to keep the dice spinning after his tremendous performance
6.
in the Midlands in winning the Champion of Champions. On the other hand, of course, it meant he got a week off. Could do a bit of work on the practice table.
29.
You know, his form is there. No margin for error
33.
from here on in if he's to turn this match around.
$38. Thank you, son. So Murphy, 38 and the frame.
Well, it was the initial break of 68 from Shaun Murphy, the first significant contribution from him today that launched the opportunity to close the gap to 3-1. Welcome back. We're just waiting for Chen Zifan to come back into the auditorium. It may take him some time. This is a vast venue full of corridors. I think we've all got lost already, but we've got the opportunity to catch up with developments in the final frame between Jimmy White and Dominic Dale. This one going the distance. White with a modest lead. He was in first, lost position. So all to play for here.
Chen Zifan to break.
So Chen Zifan still tantalisingly close to the biggest win of his fledgling professional career. 3-1 up, needing just one more to beat Shaun Murphy.
Yes, and if nothing else, if you're a Shaun Murphy fan, that's made the young Chinese player think a little bit about things. He's been playing carefree snooker, he was, to get 3-0 up, but now he's just got to finish the job off if the chances come. It's one thing to play well and get yourself into a winning position, but it's another thing to actually shake hands, walk off as the winner.
Yes, particularly when you've had as little experience of the big time as the man at the table. This is pretty new to him. The victory that Neil mentioned over Hawkins at the English Open would certainly have helped in that regard. He knows he can do it against one of the big names.
Well, it's not an easy starter, even though we know that Murphy's exceptionally good with the rest. Well, he played it very tentatively, didn't he? He didn't really... He actually played it as if he was making 100% sure of the pot, but even then it stayed up.
Thank you. One.
Well, this is the test, isn't it, for Chen? What can he make of this opportunity when it really counts?
Four. Thank you. 5.
Well, does he go into the bunch here? Doesn't look like he's thinking of doing it. I notice he doesn't always go into the pack. He has got loose reds available, but it would be the kind of lead to take him to about 30-ish, at which point he would need to get the bunch open.
12.
There was an opportunity on the last shot which he turned down.
13. $20. 21.
So, plan will probably be to play on the loose red up for the blue and then get into the bunch from there. So he might be thinking 2 to 3 shots ahead.
$28.
So this shot is the
29.
biggest one of the match, I think. If it works, he could be close to winning converting the lead into a victory.
Oh, took his eye off the pot. Couldn't have played a more attacking shot, could he? My goodness me, but
Chen
the cardinal error
Zifan
of forgetting to
29.
pot the object ball.
Well, it's all about pace, isn't it? When you hit the ball as hard as this, and he didn't have to give this a whack. I mean, everything's moved. And what he hasn't done is left a very easy starter for Murphy, but there's the first sign of, dare I say it, clincher's disease, as we call it.
Jimmy White has scored an impressive win over the dangerous Dominic Dale. White holding himself together in the final frame to come through 4-3. That's a good win for the Whirlwind. We mentioned he's been playing very well in practice. He's been encouraged by his game, and he has been able to replicate it today on the match table. He'll be delighted with that.
Yes, just gave us a little wink as he went past in the commentary box, and he was pleased. He's as pleased to win as ever. One thing about this game is there's a wonderful feeling when you pop that winning ball to get the victory, and I think that's all why a lot of snooker players play. Jimmy still gets that feeling. Chen might be getting it too, but he's in a spot of trouble now. He was lucky when he missed that blue. He left nothing easy. Murphy did the right thing. He played safe and thought, I'll wait one. Make him think about the blue that he missed. Don't give him another chance back straight away.
Yeah, it's a 29-point lead, but that's not going to count for much if Chen makes an error here. The spread far and wide. Probably about as good as he could do. Murphy with no room to manoeuvre here, 29 behind. One full step. It could be his last shot of the tournament. wins this will play Thailand's Thepchairan Nu in the round of 64. He beat Alan Taylor 4-2 earlier. For my money, one of the most gifted QS on the circuit, Thepchai, still waiting to make the breakthrough his talent deserves. But he's dangerous when he's on form. Murphy in a dangerous situation here.
Well, the only good thing about that shot from Murphy's perspective is that he did try and guide the cue ball down to the vault cushion, knowing that if he pots it, he's on the blue. If he misses it, he might not do damage. So he used his loaf there. He knew the pot was difficult, couldn't give it 100%. Well, same sort of a shot. Goodness, that was fortunate. Certainly on that red, there is a red to the middle, but he'd love to have been on the one by the blue. He's tied the blue up as well. Yeah, for the red to go in behind the blue was very handy.
Well, it's just that kind of day for Murphy at the moment, isn't it? There was just a barely perceptible nudge that red took off the pink on its way over the pocket.
Yeah, I totally agree, Philip. I thought that he'd got away with it. He probably thought, well, the chances of me sticking a red here are slim. But it's unmissable. And the question of what more he can do from here. Played that well.
One.
Don't think he can get on the red behind the blue. That would be a real bonus. There might be a position. Well, maybe he can. That is a real shot in the arm to his chances if he can clear the blue.
Five. Six.
Well, this is unquestionably a chance to score a famous victory now for Chen Zifan. I fancy his heart is probably beating a little bit faster, but if he can hold himself together, what an opportunity he's got.
Well, he's all right for the red to the corner.
No.
And high-value colour available to him as well. It's all there now. Everything is starting to fit into place. And make no mistake, this would be a shock result.
10.
Not only in their respective rankings, but as we know, Shaun Murphy comes here fresh from a week to think about that wonderful victory in Champion of Champions. If ever he's going to be confident, it would have been today.
$16. 17. $24.
Edging ever closer.
$25.
Well, that very nearly went horribly wrong.
It kind of has a little bit still. He really overhit that for no apparent reason. Still got a shot, as you say. It adds a little bit extra pressure onto the next one, but his touch deserted him for that one shot. Well, this can be missed.
Good recovery. Never easy when you're that close to the object ball with the rest as well. Shaun Murphy beginning to
22.
fear the worst.
Yes, he's double-checked the scores. He knows that match ball, this next red.
Well, that was tension. He knew
Chen
the
Zifan
significance of that ball.
22.
And for once, he did not stay as still as he wanted to.
No, he decided to cue down on this. I mean, he could have rolled it in. I don't see any reason why he would have played it at that pace. It was the one time when he lost his cool a touch. He knows it. It may not come back to haunt him because it's a tough table to clear. And Murphy's not firing on all cylinders. And that is just topped off his afternoon. Ball's being left over the pocket all the way through the match.
And if you ever wanted a match or an opportunity to win a match, this is the ideal ball to be presented with. An unmissable red to get you over the winning line. Didn't play particularly well, it has to be said, but 62 in front, 59 remaining, one snooker required. Not quite there yet. He's definitely feeling it, and that's understandable. This would be the biggest win of his career to date.
Chen
Murphy
Zifan.
needs one snooker to turn this frame around.
Yes, not impossible where the balls are, actually. Because if he could take 3 reds with blacks here and leave 1 red, just look where all those colours are at the other end. A huge target to get a snooker behind. The table could hardly be any better for getting them. Just got to make it happen.
And were Chen to lose this frame, having had gilt-edged opportunities to clinch the match, he might struggle to get over the line. Still shaking his head, he knows.
Yes, and it shouldn't be underestimated what a result like this would mean to any player, let alone one that's ranked where he is, way down the rankings, looking to progress in the game. Beating Shaun Murphy would be a big deal.
Thank you. 9.
I just get the feeling if he does pop this black and a red and a black again, Shaun is almost certain to get the snooker where the balls are. Interesting red to play on. I can't believe he didn't play on the red below. I don't see any value in playing on that one. The other one was easier to get on.
60.
Well, Obviously, if this stays up, it is end of match. You won't be hitting it very hard. I guess there is an argument you could actually pop the last red with the black as well, but in all honesty, I think that he should use the red to his advantage, keeping it on the table. Well, obviously he's going to pot it with the black. It'll only be one snooker.
$24. $25.
I guess the other thing is with the blue where it was, had he played snooker on the last red, the yellow would only have been potable into the opposite corner. Now it's going to be moved.
Be quiet, please.
Some noise in the audience, not any good to Shaun. He's on the brink here. So he doesn't want to make any more errors or be put off. Now this is as easy a snookering opportunity as you'll see. And behind, I'm guessing, keeping it simple, brown and pink. I'm amazed. I honestly do not see what he was thinking of there.
32.
Extraordinary shot selection for me.
And a third opportunity of the golden variety for Chen Zifan to notch up a famous victory. Well, he's played some really good stuff today, particularly in the first couple of frames. Those two 90 breaks, couple of 40 breaks to move 3-0 up. One or two signs of nerves in sight of the winning line, but Shaun Murphy, you'd have to say, has rather presented him with this opportunity, which looks like being the deciding one. That's wide, but he's got the snooker as a bonus. 32 the difference, 25 on. Two snookers now required and facing one, Shaun Murphy.
Foul. Chen Zifan, 4.
And that sets the seal on a memorable day in the life of this 25-year-old.
3.
Playing his debut professional season. And he's taken out a player who produced a wonderful performance to win the Champion of Champions just a couple of weeks ago against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Murphy battling on, but it's looking increasingly hopeless for him. 39 the difference now. Beg your pardon. Yeah, 39, 22 on. Goodness me. 5 snookers with only brown, blue, pink and black remaining. It's a really terrific win for Chen Zifan, and he deserves it. Surely the handshake is coming. It is. That's a big upset here on the opening day of the Northern Ireland Open. Shaun Murphy, who's been in brilliant form, taken out pretty convincingly in the end by a player ranked 93 places below him. Chen Zifan of China, 98 in the world, has beaten the magician, and he's done it with something to spare by 4 frames to 1.